and putting on a show here as they take a 2-1 series lead. Get some instant analysis. Welcome in CBS Sports NBA insider Bill Ryder. Bill, you look at this game, no Jimmy Butler, no problem, but you say no problem because of the bench. Without Buddy Hield, without Gary Payton II, I'm not so sure the Warriors win this game.
Yeah, we're playing 90s basketball this entire series. First game, Golden State goes over that 100-point mark, Hakeem, and the reason they won was defense, Steph Curry, and the two guys that you mentioned. And GP2 in particular, someone had to step up. And we know that when Jimmy Butler is in this lineup, this is an incredibly different and more dangerous Warriors team, in part because everybody needs help. Steph needs help, and the Warriors were going to have to get it from somewhere. Gary Payton II was that unlikely hero, and you're right. Without him, without Buddy Hield, who, by the way, Hield 17 points, matched the high scorer for the Rockets. It's not as if the Rockets set the world on fire offensively, but without Hield, without GP2, without that Warriors defense, it's a very different game and feels at least probably like a very different series.
Yeah, where was the Rockets in this game? Where were they?
This is who they are, and this is what, look, this is a really good basketball team. They are young, and their future is incredibly bright, and I don't think we should cover up or not respect their defensive excellence. They're incredible. They don't have reliable scorers, Hakeem. They don't have guys that like Steph Curry, are going to go out there and be the main guy, and even if they did have that, they need someone to be the secondary guy. Take Jalen Green.
9
had an
points.
Incredible game, too. Yeah, was largely absent because he's young. And he's still trying to figure it out. And so for the Warriors, I don't want to say you have to win this game, but it's a critical statement to do without Jimmy Butler because you don't want to let a Rockets team that is young, that is inexperienced, that doesn't have a go-to guy, especially in the fourth quarter, get up on you 2-1 and start to feel some of that confidence.
He had 38 in the Game 2 win. He has 9 in this one. So he's gone 7, 38, 9. So the next game he's going to go for 30 or maybe 40 because we talked about how streaky he is. And maybe you gotta figure a way out because, of course, Houston goes on the road. Your role players aren't as good on the road. Your role players for the Warriors are better at home. And you see Steph Curry pour in 36. He really got going in that second half, particularly that fourth quarter. What'd you see from Steph?
I mean, look, this is one of the greatest players in the history of the sport. His level of excellence is up there with most names that you could speak who are legends of the game. And it almost was a triple-double, and it was the scoring, it was the three-point shooting. This guy just knows how to win, Hakeem. He had, I think it was 2 or 3 blocks, and one of them was really critical in that fourth quarter. This is what superstars do. Jimmy Butler, it sounds like, is going to be back at some point. You very eloquently and artistically pointed out he's got an injury, joke intended, that's not yet behind him, but he'll be back at some point. And so what you want to do is, if you're Steph, this has to be a game where you take over. It's about you. You're the guy. You step up. That's what all-time greats do, and maybe more than that, that's what champions do. There's a reason Steph Curry's won 4 of these things, and this Warriors squad is capable, because of him, of winning another one this year.
Yeah, Steph Curry's 66th career playoff game with 5 or more made threes all time. He's the greatest shooter of all time. 37th playoff game with 30 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. That ties the late great Kobe Bryant for third most all time. And look, you mentioned Jimmy Butler there, and we heard Steve Kerr said there was a chance he could play here in this game 3. Do you feel more optimistic now that he will play in Game 4, especially considering they won this game? They're going to be feeling better. I know that doesn't heal anything, but this gives Jimmy Butler a little bit more leeway. You don't necessarily have to play him a full game there in Game 4.
Yeah, hard to know if Steve Kerr was playing mind games, sort of a psych ops move, because that statement was pretty optimistic. I certainly expected, and so did a lot of people, obviously, who heard it, that Butler was gonna play. And we know that Jimmy Butler has a high pain tolerance threshold. That's just part of his reality. And this is one of those injuries, Akeem, where you have to just be able to gut your way through it. So yes, I think you're right. I think we'll see him, but this win takes the pressure off. You don't have to force him out there. He doesn't have to play 38 minutes. It's not a almost must-win game in Game 4. And maybe more importantly, or as importantly, or at least in conjunction with being able to take your time on Butler's injury, the Warriors just proved to themselves that they can win these games against really good teams when Butler's not on the line. But the flip side of the coin of knowing how different they are with Jimmy Butler is the Warriors knew that the difference is poor when he's not out there. To get this game, for Steph to do it, for some of those role players to step up, I think it's a huge boost for the whole team to know if Butler's not out there or if he's limited, they can still take it to the Rockets.
Well, we knew that the Warriors were the favorites coming into this series. Now even a heavier favorite, minus 375 over the 2 seed in the West. When you look at this series, the way it has gone, do you see Houston? Again, I know it's a 2-1 series, but it feels like this was a separation game, Bill, that Golden State now really feels like in the driver's seat.
Yeah, I like the Warriors at the start of the series. I like the Warriors even when Jimmy Butler got injured, when we sort of knew that it wasn't good, that it was going to be game to game, day to day, not the entire series. And I still like the Warriors. I'll say this. I mean, there's a way that the Rockets can win, and I'll circle back to what we discussed earlier, Akeem. If Jalen Green can get red hot for 3 games in a row, and that tends not to be at this early stage of his career what we see. But if Jalen Green puts up 38 in the next game and 39 in the game after that and 43 in the game after that, or someone else, Amen Thompson could do it. If someone can provide some offense, especially on top of Alperen Şengün, and provide offense more importantly late in the game, where sometimes you just got to go out and create your own shot, create your own space, just get buckets. If somebody can do that for the Rockets, they can win this series. We haven't seen that from them all year. This is a Warriors team that was a top 10 defense without Jimmy Butler, is the best defense in the NBA since Butler became a Warrior. That's a very tall task.
Game 4 Monday back in San Francisco. Warriors really looking to take a stranglehold, take a 3-1 series lead, and Jalen Green and the Rockets going to try to cook something up here against Steph Curry and company. Bill Ryder on CBS Sports HQ with us here. Thanks, Bill. And look, Warriors owning the Rockets at home in the playoffs. 12-1, averaging more than 108 points per game, giving up 94. And interestingly enough, that was almost the score in this game. It's 104-93. So pretty consistent when you consider what the Warriors have done against the Rockets over the years in the playoffs. Now have a 2-1 series lead. OKC moving on as they remain the favorites to win it all.
Well, it's that word we fought. Everybody in the team, like there was zero quit in this team. We had several opportunities to do that throughout the end of the season. There's been, it's difficult to explain, but how much like emotional, turmoil there's been. Like you see, starting with the coaching change, that obviously creates, big ripples. But then you have, also what happened with Jalen. That everybody, and then going through that again, with Ja in the previous game, coming up very near misses, playing some great games where we just are unable to close it for a reason. Guys had every reason to just let this one slip away, and they didn't. And that says a lot about the character in this group and the togetherness and what type of guys they are.
I don't think any of that has been processed by anybody. I mean, I haven't processed any of that. There was no time to. The whole point is just to keep playing and keep going hard for the people around you. So processing how you feel about stuff is for the off season. And eventually I'll know how I feel about it.
Honestly, it could work both ways against us. It could add a little rust, or it could add a little freshness. I think trying to find a balance in between those two is going to be important in this next, however long it is till we wait for the next series. But we always say, the times in between the games is the days that you have to win in the playoffs, and that's where we're going to try to tackle in this next little break we get. Just try to be a better team than we were tonight, than we were this series, come next series.
So the Thunder on pace to win it all. Okay, I know that, Hakeem, but what do you mean they're on pace to win it all? Well, look at these teams right here. 68 or more regular season wins, and they swept their first playoff series. Right there, the Bulls, MJ, Lakers back in the 70s. All 3 of those teams that won 68 games or more in the regular season and swept their first playoff series all won the NBA championship. So that means the Thunder are going to win it all. That tells you right there. That's what history says. I'm just giving you the facts. If you want to lay some money down, plus 160 on the Thunder, trying to win their first NBA championship since moving to Oklahoma City. Thunder, plus 160 to win it all.
Cậu đó đang ở đấy cho Phú Quế. Đóng vào, đóng vào, đóng vào.
Xin chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn làm cọc. Và hôm nay của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là ô tô. Bây giờ mình sẽ bắt đầu làm nhé.
Nằm anh ơi à. Ngủ đi. Đâu à? Gì? Cái gì đấy? Cái gì đấy gọi?
Ngày hả?